again for another It's Not Cheating Quickie, talking about non monogamy as we gear up for the It's Not Cheating weekend. All right. Super excited. Okay, here we go. Get that up on the screen as we wait for the notifications to go out and people to come on in. Hello, I am seeing you. Say hi in the chat. Let me know that you're here. We will give the live stream just a few moments to get people going, and then we're going to be talking about the veto in non monogamy. Yeah, the veto, the devil of non monogamous relationships. Like the biggest red flag of all red flags, only inhuman monsters have vetoes. So, hey, Cobalt. Hey, Sabyasachi. Hello, Barbaro. Lovely to see you. Good to have you here. Let's talk about the veto. So, what I've been doing this week is I've been going live each day, except Tuesday, because I had a medical appointment, each day with a little snippet of something related to non monogamy that I have opinions about, right? And I have talked about what's wrong with non monogamy. I have talked about, gosh, what else have I talked about? I've talked about things. I have talked about things. And today we're going to be talking about the veto. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking about ethical and consensual in non monogamy applies to your hookups as well. Hello, Offsetter. Welcome. And hello to Belgium. And so today, the veto it's one of my soapboxes in non monogamy because and especially in polyamory, because polyamory groups online have a tendency to be very like groupthink lockstep. Like, this is bad and wrong. It is always bad and wrong. And if you think it might be good and right, you are bad and wrong as well. That's kind of like what I see a lot of in the groups I see online, in Facebook, in other communities, etc. And I am more of the opposite. I'm more of if you can be open and honest and communicative and ethical, then what works for you and your partners while minimizing potential harm in compassionate ways, then it's okay. It's good. It's right. Whatever. So let's talk about the veto, because in polyamory, a lot of people will say the veto is wrong because it is a rule and we cannot set rules for other people. The veto is wrong because that is someone else, i.e., third party, having control over your, i.e., these two parties, relationship. Right? Which on the surface sounds true, right? Like, it's not fair if that person tells me, or worse, tells my partner how to run my relationship. I mean, that's unfair, right? It is unfair. Here's something though, and I think you know this. First of all, life isn't fair. I'm just going to throw that right out there. Life is not fair. Simple. But more than that, let's talk about the ethics of a veto. Okay, so veto, the standard way this works is you have a couple, a primary couple, often opening up their relationship, right? We're going to take these steps into non-monogamy. And if you do somebody, I was going to say something, but if you do somebody that I don't like, or if I do somebody that you don't like, we're going to protect this core relationship that might have kids and a home and finances and whatever. We're going to protect this from interlopers, right? The bad guys, whatever that means. Now, generally speaking, deciding ahead of time that anybody I don't like is somebody you shouldn't interact with, to me, is unethical. That is unethical behavior. There's more to it than that, though. And I think it's really important to kind of dig down in. Now, gonna pause for here, a couple of things. Sabyasachi has found my cooking experiments. Yes. Let's see. Cobalt. It's tempting to want to get a sense of what the right way to do it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. But the challenge is that if we try to break it down and make it too easy by saying, hey, what's the right way? And we go into a group and there's group think going on, right? And they all say, okay, this is the right way. Well, is it? How do you know? I'm not sure if y'all were Elvis fans. I'm not a huge Elvis fan. And he had an album that was like 10 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. And I was like, oh no, they can, right? I like Elvis, but I mean, you could fill that in with 10 million or 10 billion, I don't know how many, Justin Bieber fans can't be wrong, right? And poly groups online with this whole group think going on, they're not 10 million. And they can all be wrong. And the ones that are not wrong can be shouted down by the majority, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, Roger says, it's fair because I shouldn't have to deal with someone I dislike. Okay, you're right. You shouldn't have to deal with someone you dislike. If I am seeing them, I just don't bring them around you. You don't have to deal with them. Simple, right? You have a right to your space and your home and your time and your energy. I also have a right to my home and my space and my time and my energy, right? So if you don't like somebody, just like if you don't like their best friend or if you don't like their mother, figure it out. It doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life. Womanopolis, you don't make lives on Thursdays anymore. So because I'm still recovering from surgery and because I'm about to go into surgery, 2 more surgeries on February 3rd, I am not doing those regular lives right now, and won't be until probably March again. Because, yeah. Cobalt says it erases the individuals in the relationship. It does. It erases autonomy. And that's a key. It's a big key, right? So there is this article that I saw on HuffPo a couple months ago, a couple years ago, a while ago. I don't even remember exactly when. And it was written by a woman about her getting vetoed from a relationship. And it was posted in one of the Facebook polyamory groups that I follow and pay attention to, and sometimes answer questions in, and whatever, right? And there was a lot of talk, obviously, just like I'd mentioned, about how uncool it is to have someone not in your relationship be able to affect your relationship. They also talk about how it's abusive to allow anyone but the two people in a relationship to control that relationship. Or that people who have relationships where vetoes exist are allowing a third party to control them. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Most of the time, that is wrong. Wrong. It's just false. It's anyway, it is wrong for exactly the same reasons that people who are cheated on blame the side piece and not the cheater. Are you with me here? A veto, whether it's agreed to ahead of time or not, is merely a form of expression, an utterance, a choice. The only person who actually makes that choice is the person in the relationship. I'm going to pause for a second, go to some comments, and then I'll come back to this thinking. Cobalt says, I think many new, but not limited to poly probably want to control what their partner is doing in their own imagination and think veto will do that, but jealousy still happens. Yes, there is absolutely that. 100%. And Roger says, you just gave the reason poly is very difficult to manage, especially if you are in the primary relationship, have kids, and so on. Now, there are people also, again, in poly groups who will tell you that having a primary relationship, or even using the words primary relationship, is unethical, and you are not allowed to do that. Interesting, right? You are not allowed to have a hierarchical relationship structure, but a third party is not allowed to control their relationships. A third party is wrong and bad for wanting to control a relationship between two other people. And yet an entire group of people will tell you you are wrong and bad for doing the things that work for you and your partners. Yeah. Roger says they can F off. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay, so let's go back to what I was talking about. A veto. I don't like that person. My partner is seeing that person. So I say, I don't like him. Right? My partner's like, I do. I'll keep them out of the house. I'll keep them away from you. No, that's not good enough. I need you to stop seeing them because I don't like them. Right? What am I doing? I'm expressing myself. I don't like radishes. So my partner says, I like radishes. I'm going to keep eating radishes. I won't put radishes in your salad. I won't bring radishes around you, really. I mean, I'm not going to put them where they're going to affect you, but I like radishes. No. You have to stop eating radishes because I don't like radishes. Okay. So, what I'm saying here is that a veto is communication. It's a form of expression, right? I am saying what I want. The person in the relationship, the person eating the radishes, is the person that makes the choice to do what I want, or to maintain their relationship, or to keep eating radishes. I don't have control over their relationship. I could shout at you all day about ending your relationship because it makes me uncomfortable, and you'd probably think I was a twat, right? Because A, who the freak am I? And B, you would know that if you wanted to end your relationship, you would do so because that's your choice and you don't want to. Same when it's your partner telling you to end a relationship with someone else. It's your choice. And if you're in a relationship with that someone else and their partner says, I don't like that person, I want you to leave them, it's their choice. And if they don't choose you because someone else told them not to, they are not making a choice between you and that someone else. They're making a choice between you and the hassle of working things out, or between you and the arguments they don't want to go through, or between you and the poor relationship choices they've made so far in their lives, or between you and standing up for their boundaries and what they want in life, right? Ultimately, if they leave you because someone tells them to, they're just simply not choosing you. They could leave you because, I don't know, they rather, take the year and go kangaroo watching in Australia. Same difference, right? They're just not choosing you. It's not important enough to them at that moment, with whatever pressures are being put on them, to choose you. It's no different than if they made the choice between you and a new job. You and more time at the bumper car arcade. Between you and their desire to sit on the couch eating Cheez-Its and watching reruns of 90210 to mentally relive their best years, right? Only one person can make that choice. And if they do make that choice, honestly, it's only tangentially related to the other person. Allie says, fact, that's just silly. Cobalt says, I got accused of trying to veto sex when it was in front of me, and I was not consenting to it because I wasn't there with the paramour yet. It's hard being yelled at for wanting to go home. Yeah, absolutely. Kangaroo watching. I don't know. I just made that up. Roger says, I may not have control, but they need to realize they may be damaging the existing relationship and make a choice. Here's the deal, though, Roger. They have 2 existing relationships, and they might be damaging both of them, or they might be damaging that one in a way that it's never going to recover from, just because this one is trying to be controlling or is insecure and isn't working through their own whatever, right? Isn't honoring that person's autonomy. But here's the thing. That's your right. If you're in that position, if I say to you, Roger, it's me or that skank over there, and you choose me, that's your choice. If you choose that skank over there, that's your choice. If you say, I refuse to choose, I love you both, and if you choose to leave me because of this other partner, that's on you. However, I'm willing to work with you on finding out a way that we can make this work for us all, right? It's a choice. It's always a choice. And again, if they make that choice to end your relationship, yeah, sure, the other person said, I need you to do this, right? They might have even put pressure on them. They still did it for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they still did that. And blaming the other person when somebody vetoes your relationship with your partner, blaming the other person is easy, right? Blaming the veto is easy because that other person and that veto are not the person you want, are not the person you're falling in love with or have fallen in love with. Really? And it's easier to blame the big old meanie poopy pants and not the one who is telling you, I love you, as they walk away towards someone or something else. And maybe blame isn't the right word. Blame. But when people walk away for any reason, when people walk away, even if they say they love you, even if they do love you, they are walking away for their own reasons. 99.9% of the time. Now, let me add in a caveat. There are extreme examples of people being abused, people being held hostage by finances, by children, by all of these things. They exist. I'm not saying they don't. Maybe it's even 1 out of 10 people. Overall, though, when it comes to this sort of thing, people are making the decision. They are choosing someone or something else, even if it's just, I want peace of mind. I don't want to deal with the arguments anymore. I don't want to work through this because that's a huge hassle. I just want to shut them up. They're choosing that over you. And here's the thing. In my opinion, if you're going to be ethically non-monogamous, then you have to understand that any reason, even if it's you don't like butter pecan ice cream, and what monster doesn't love butter pecan ice cream? Any reason they choose to leave you, any reason they choose to walk away is okay. It's that simple. Nobody is required to stay in a relationship with anyone that they do not want to stay in, that is not worth fighting for, that takes too much time and energy, that hurts them, that wears them down, that doesn't fill them up in the way that they need, that causes all the other relationships in their lives to go haywire, whatever. It doesn't even matter the reason. We like to look for reasons because, why is mental masturbation? But it doesn't matter. The only reason you need is because I'm choosing it. It's that simple. So, Roger, I'm with you. If they say they love me and walk away, it's probably for the better. If they don't say they love me and walk away, probably for the better. If they walk away, it's for the better. Because if they walk away, then they don't want to be with me in the way that I need them to be with me. It's simple. It's really, really simple. And as I like to say, that doesn't make it easy, right? If somebody that you absolutely adore walks away, that doesn't make it easy. It's not easy, but it's simple. Why are they walking away? Because that's their choice. Whatever reason, it's their choice. Whatever is piled up against you on their side of the relationship, on their brain, that outweighs you. And that might be a veto. And absolutely, every single person who says, I will not have a relationship with somebody who says that they have a veto in their relationship is absolutely valid. That is a valid choice. Just understand that just because they don't say they have a veto in their relationship doesn't mean that a veto does not exist or that a veto couldn't happen to you. And it might be more subtle, right? It might not be, I veto that person. It might be, every time they go out with you, there's an emergency at home, or there's a complaint that you don't spend enough time with me and the kids, or there ends up being some sort of argument or fight afterwards that it is just not worth the hassle. And if I'm in that situation, it's just not worth the hassle? Or am I going to fight for my boundaries? Am I going to fight for my autonomy? Am I going to stand up to somebody who is trying to manipulate me? If the answer is no, because I don't have the time right now and I'm stressed and, I'm not in a place where I can, that's valid too. Simple. Not easy, but simple. Cobalt says, in the past, I've gotten stuck on why. Recently, I decided if someone wants to convince me we're not good together, okay, I'm convinced. Ding! Hey, you know what? I don't think this is working. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. It felt like it was working from my end, but you know what? Your perspective is valid. Damn. I'm going to be really sad for a while and I'm going to miss you. But you have a right to your own decisions and I respect that. Whew. Yeah. It's not easy to walk away. As someone who got cheated on and did walk away, even that was difficult. Oh, like I said, never said it was easy. Never, ever said it. Well, I'll tell you what, it gets easier. It gets a lot easier. When you get practiced at saying, if I want to walk away for any reason, people should honor that. And then you turn that around for other people, it gets easier because you're giving them the honor of their boundaries, of their wants and their needs in the way that you expect they're going to give it to you. And that's where, again, I say this a lot, but that's where boundaries and ethics are two sides of the same coin. And both of them combine to make us stronger and better people. Now, again, it is absolutely valid, in my opinion, to say, I will not date anyone in a relationship where there is veto power. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know why it's valid? Because as soon as someone says, you know what, I'm going to get in a relationship with you, but my partner can end it at any time with a veto, they are telling you going into the relationship that they are unwilling to fight for you. They are unwilling to care for you. They are unwilling to continue any relationship with you once it gets inconvenient. They've already decided that. It's already a done deal. And that's valid to say, you know what? No, that's a hard limit for me. Best of luck to you in everything you do. Bye. Right? Yeah. Hey, Sir Thomas. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. So do we have any questions? I know we've been chit-chatting back and forth, sort of through this. And, I've done my little rant for today. Again, I'm doing these go live talking about non-monogamy this week. And I'll actually do one tomorrow at 10 a.m. And tomorrow, what am I going to be talking about tomorrow? Good question. Oh, yeah. Ethical and consensual applies to your hookups as well. So tomorrow I'll be talking about that. And then on Monday, we're going live and we have a community for the non-monogamy 5-day challenge. So there we go. notcheating.com/challenge. And in that challenge, I will be talking about what I consider to be the 5 most critical skills in successful non-monogamous relationships. So I'll be talking about labels. How do we label ourselves? How do we identify within non-monogamy? I'll talk about opening up. Let's open, stepping into new non-monogamy and expanding existing relationships. I'll talk about the green-eyed monster, jealousy, right? I'll talk about compersion. Is it a magic pill? And then on day 5, I'm going to talk about the best rules for non-monogamy. So that's going to be a 5-day challenge. It is free to join right there. It costs nothing. And we're going to be digging into these questions, digging into these concepts, and working together to learn more about ourselves and our non-monogamous journeys. Now, Cobalt says, is veto ever used in cuckoldry? I ask because I know some sexual restrictions for a cuckold are common. So is it different or similar? That is a really good question. And you know what? I'm going to answer it, even though it's so different. So here's the thing. In cuckolding, I'm going to pop back to this question. In cuckolding, there is often an opportunity for the cuckold to veto their partner's external playmates. Often. Not always, but often. Now, the cuckold is usually sexually controlled by the cuckoldress. So that lends to sort of like the ultimate veto. Many cuckolds don't ever get to play with anyone except their cuckoldress. And oftentimes there's restrictions even on play with their cuckoldress. Not always, often. It's not unusual, right? The thing is, that's less of a veto and more of a negotiated dynamic. The cuckold and the cuckoldress are creating a power exchange, especially sexual power exchange, relationship together that fulfills them both in various ways. So that's the difference between like cuckolding as a kink and actual cuckolding cheating. So two radically different experiences. So yeah. Okay. So one more time, doing these little non-monogamy things because I've got this weekend coming up. 1 week from today, we start with the It's Not Cheating weekend, which is going to be all about non-monogamy. Costs nothing to join us. And on Monday, I'm going to be starting the 5-day non-monogamy challenge, free to join. I'll be going live just like this, but I'll also have additional resources and thoughts in the community, and we'll have forums and so on and so forth to get things going. So I hope that you can join me. And again, tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'm going to be talking about ethics and consensual applying to hookups as well in your non-monogamy. So thank you all for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow or next week or whenever, hopefully next weekend at It's Not Cheating. Thanks, y'all.